Hey everybody, it's Talks when Crits Happen. Thanks for watching and welcome back. It's been a while. It's been a long while actually. I apologize about that. I've had some life-changing things going on. As some of you may have seen, I'm no longer with Arcane Wonders. I'm now president of Passport Game Studios and very excited about that. That started in January. Great company, great games, and great people. So really excited about that. As you can imagine, starting that role in January, the last couple of 30-45 days have been kind of crazy, busy, fast, and all very positive. So that's where I have been. Let's talk about where we're going. So today I want to start something called a critical chat. We've had critical questions of the day, and those are good. They spark really good comments, and I love those. Well, I want to have a discussion today, and it's going to be about a topic that apparently is pretty passionately debated amongst a lot of people in our industry. I'm going to give you my opinion, and then if you want to reply either with a video or with a comment or whatever you want to keep the discussion going, that would be great. The topic is an ICV2 article. ICV2 has an announcement that Barnes & Noble's plans casual game gatherings. This is exactly what it says. Barnes & Noble's will host weekly casual game gatherings offering demos and space for play in March, according to Publisher Services Inc., who is one of their distributors. The events will be held 5 Thursday evenings at 57 stores, about 9% of the chain's 640 stores. Demos will be conducted by Barnes & Noble store employees, and 5 light strategy games will be featured. The games featured are King of Tokyo, Sheriff of Nottingham, Splendor, Codenames, and Lanterns. So let's talk about this for a second, because I think this is a very good thing. I'm a big believer, and some of you may have heard me say this before in the past, when the waters rise, all boats float. There is no truer statement than for the board game industry, in my opinion, both as a fan and as someone in the business. When we look at the dichotomy, the dichotomy and the ecosphere of board gaming, there are friendly local game stores that provide a unique experience, a unique service that mass market big box stores do not. Now, in my opinion, mass market big box stores are basically two guys, Target and Walmart. Those differ greatly from the book and trade sector of the market, which are the Barnes & Nobles, Books A Millions, Hastings, things like that. There are some, like the book and trade, that have embraced board games as a business segment inside of their business model. And that's great. Because here's the thing. When I look back to when I was introduced to board games, I'm 43 years old, and I know I don't look a day over 71. It's great. But when I was introduced to board games, it was through my friends at their house. It was not at a friendly local game store. In fact, even when I got into the hobby, there was no friendly local game stores. And if there were, they were very few and far between. I actually managed a comic book and baseball card shop at the time when Magic the Gathering was coming out. And I remember the concept of having a table and having people buy a product and then play that product in your store was completely foreign to the owner. He was a great guy, but it was a time where you went to your store, you bought your comic books, your bags and your boards, you bought your sports cards, your Fleer, your tops, and you went home. You didn't stick around the store all that much. That evolved, and that's really, in my opinion, only evolved a lot broadly in the last 20 years. So if you're under 20 years old, you've probably been exposed to board games via an awesome FLGS, friendly local game store. But if you're not, you probably weren't. And if you were, you were pretty lucky because most areas didn't have them and they hadn't been built up as much. Now, the experience you get at a friendly local game store is very unique. It's a personal experience. It's a community bond. And to me, that's what an FLGS really offers that no one else can offer. That's my store. Even in a location like where I am in Austin, where there's multiple really good retailers, there are people that are very dedicated to one retailer because it's their store. They know the owner. They know the people that work there. They like the way that that group thinks, and they want to play there and be part of that community. And that's an experience that really you are only ever going to get at an FLGS. There is no one in a book and trade, there is no one at a big box store that is going to be able to replicate that or reproduce that. So why do I think this is a good thing? I think it's a good thing because it offers opportunity to bring more gamers into the hobby and into the industry. Let's face it, at the end of the day, there are consumers who are never going to walk into a friendly local game store just on their own. There's a small percentage chance they might, but the reality of most people waking up one day and saying, I'm going to stop in that friendly local game store that I know nothing about and don't really play a lot of the games, it's pretty low. So if you take someone like a Barnes & Noble's who has a broad reach already to a consumer base, and you put the right games, the right types of games, like these games are, casual games, very accessible games, very easy to learn games, very easy to teach games, and you put those in an environment where people can suddenly feel comfortable about sitting down and playing those games, that's going to bring more people into our hobby and into our industry. And if that happens, as I do believe is the case, hobbyists dig deep. They get their claws in, they see something they love, and they want to go deeper. They want more from what that hobby or what that activity can offer them. And if, excuse me, and if that happens, then they're going to look for other opportunities outside just Barnes & Noble's. Now I get it. There's a lot of retailers that may say, hey, this is a bad thing. I don't like this. I think it's going to crush the friendly local game store. And you could have that attitude. But I was told by someone a very long time ago, expectations always increase. And the competition never slows down. And that's always true in every industry. It's true in life as well. So if I'm an FLGS owner and I look at this as a negative thing, I could be missing an opportunity. Because where the real opportunity for an FLGS is how do you take those consumers that have now been nurtured and incubated inside of a Barnes & Noble's game night and bring them into your store and make them part of that community that you can offer so uniquely? That's the big question. Now, I can't answer that because I'm not a retailer, but it's a good question to think about and it's a good thing to discuss. I think overall at the end of the day, Barnes & Noble's doing these casual game nights is a very good thing. It will obviously be a big boost to them as a company and as a business, but if it brings more gamers into the industry, at whatever level they may be, whether it's Codenames or whether it's Axis and Allies, that's a good thing because it feeds into the theory of when the waters rise, all boats float. So what do you think? Do you think the Barnes & Noble's experience is going to be a good one? Do you think it's bad? Why? What are your ideas behind that? Would love to hear it. Leave a comment below in the YouTube channel. Heck, pick up your own camera or your own iPhone or your Android phone, record something and let us know that way too. We'd love to hear from you and understand what you think about this topic. It's pretty hot button, but we're really curious about what you have to say about it. Let us know, and until we see you next time, thanks for watching, keep rolling those dice, and we hope they're all crits.